And we are live. Welcome to Chime Nuts. I'm with Steve. And Steve, what are we discussing this evening?
We're talking about real estate leads management
Mhm.
in Lofty CRM, but it could be other CRMs too. It works the same way in all these CRMs, Follow Up Boss, Sync, KV Core, Sierra. They all kind of work the same way. So what we're going to talk about here is going to be relevant for all of it, even people that are not even in real estate.
Yes. And remember our camera is over there. So anyway, so let's talk about the root of the problem here. What happens? Um, why do realtors often are not lose control or are not in touch with what's happening in their pipeline or their CRM, in their CRM, sorry.
Yeah, it's really just organization. You need to organize all the leads in your system into basically cold, warm, and hot.
Okay.
So if you think about it in those terms, every lead in your pipeline should be in one of those three stages. Um, you could make a couple of other stages on either end of that spectrum. If you think about it, on the hot side, you could do break it then up into appointment set, showing, under contract, something like that. And then on the other end of the pipeline, you could do one for dead leads or do not call, something like that. But basically, when you boil it right down, it's cold, warm, hot is really what we're trying to get to, because that's going to give us the visibility we need to know who to handle daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly.
Yeah, and I have in my notes here that CRM were built to store information, not to guide action. I think most realtors think it's a plug and play kind of situation. Once you get that CRM and you put your database in there, your leads, you start receiving leads through your website. Let's say if you have a system like Lofty, where the leads come from the front end of the website and then in the back end the CRM receives them, they're not ready. Um, if you don't have the system set up right. You still need to tweak a few things. You still need to determine if a lead comes in, let's say from Zillow.com or from Realtor.com, what pipeline do they go to? Is it the new leads? What do you have? Are those very high priority leads and you put them in maybe a warm kind of pipeline other than the ones that are just browsing through Google? So you still need to do a few things in the back end to be able to nurture this through all to the closing table.
Yeah, so that there, in Lofty CRM, there's a ribbon that goes across the top from left to right, and you're going to want to all the leads come in as a new lead. That's the
Yeah.
first. That's the default that all leads come into automatically. After that, we usually recommend creating a sort of a holding tank stage called attempting contact. And that's where they go into if you are trying, you've touched them, you're trying to reach this person, and probably you haven't yet, but you're going to keep trying them. And then it sort of goes into cold, warm, hot stages that you can also replicate. Here's a good tip: is we like to set it up with segments as well. You can use segments in Lofty
Yeah, we're getting there.
and set a timer on it. Oh,
Yeah.
did I jump
Yes,
ahead too
yes, you
much
jumped
already?
ahead
Okay.
a little bit. So if you are having a chaotic system, maybe you're juggling too many tools and none of them talk to each other. Most of the time, as a realtor, you will find that you're maybe getting phone calls when you're out there in the field, people inquiring about certain homes that they saw on your website, or they saw your number somewhere and or somebody referred them to you. So when you're on the go, you really don't have, like a system to capture all that information. Now, a good tip for realtors that are using Lofty CRM is make sure you bridge the phone number you use. You have a virtual number front facing on your website that bridges to your cell, so that every lead that comes in through your system and even the number that you put on your Google business profile rings or bridges through to your phone. Why? Because Lofty can track all those phone calls and so can Google. And that way you're not missing on the action. You're not juggling between papers. And for the ones that you write down on a paper, we always recommend people after at the end of the day, how do you now prepare for the next day? as a realtor. If you have VAs, I've seen most realtors do this. They take a screenshot of something they jotted down, and then they send it over to the CRA to the VA through WhatsApp, their WhatsApp group, maybe if they're out offshore. And this works perfect. And they say, okay, put this lead in there. I got it from whatever. So you're not forgetting. And once you limit all these different lead sources, meaning you're not having everything all over the place, you have a streamlined process of receiving new leads or referrals. I think that makes the chaos less or more manageable. Would you say?
Yeah, agreed. You have to set up your system knowing that this CRM, whatever it is, in this case Lofty, is your hub. And one way or another, it's the hub in a hub and spoke model. So all these leads coming in from these different sources need to be wired to come directly into that system. And these systems are built for that. You can
Yeah.
connect it to Zillow, Facebook ads, inbound calls, inbound text, your social media. All of it can flow directly in there. Most of it can be integrated automatically. And Floyce mentioned the phone call issue.
Yeah.
If you know this and you set up your system using a virtual number that's already tied to the Lofty system and
Yeah.
then patch it through to your cell phone, like she said, then Lofty's going to capture it automatically. You don't have to worry about it. And with a flip of a button, you can even turn on call recording and it'll even record it. You need to build something in there to let people know, depending on the state you're in. There might be rules and regulations about letting them know they're being recorded. You've probably heard those, though, where they say you're on a recorded line, something like that. And let them know, but then it's recorded in Lofty and you don't have to guess what was said on that call. You can go back and pull that later.
Yeah, so here, the reality here, Steve, is that you are not short on leads, you are short on clarity. So all these leads that are all over the place, it doesn't mean you keep chasing the next shiny object. If you have leads and you're receiving leads in your system, the best way to really get value for your money is managing those leads, finding a way. And so we wrote down a few solutions for you. So Steve, what is a solution to simplify the system?
Well, we got 5 tips we wrote down here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're simplifying your system with these 5 tips. Number one, we already touched on, which is build a visual pipeline.
Yeah.
Now in Lofty, that's that ribbon across the top from left to right, and you can actually see it. It goes something like this: new leads, attempting contact, cold, warm, hot, appointment set, showing, under contract,
Mhm.
closed.
Yeah.
It goes all the way across, and you can see it. It's right there in front of you on your under the people tab. So tip number two is, again, we already sort of touched on this: organize all your leads by readiness, cold, warm, hot. So you want to tag them in the pipeline as that. But here's a bonus tip: also put them in a segment. Use segments with set reminders. I see that's actually tip number three, which is to use set automated reminders. And these are tied to the segments that we mentioned, which can be set up with reminders. So what I like to do is set up a segment for remind me in one day,
Mm-hmm.
another one for 7 days, another one for 30 days, another one for 90 days, another one for 180 days.
Yeah.
That way you got them sort of expiring after that time period, and then you can see exactly which ones need attention based on those reminders.
Use AI or templates to speed up personalized follow-ups. This is a tool that is often overlooked. Most people that have a system like, let's say, Lofty, I don't know about Follow-Up Boss, but if you have a system like Lofty that has AI into it, you might pay a little bit extra to get your own. But using that to automate the follow up is really good, especially if you're busy, you're one man band, and you don't have too much help. If you're out there in the field selling, automating some of these actions, like when a new lead comes in, what's the email? Do they get an email after 10 minutes, after 20 minutes? Do they get a call? Do you get a reminder to call them? All this is really important. And also, does the AI engage with these leads? If you don't call in the next 30 minutes, you can set it up like that. Or if you're on vacation mode, then you set the AI to do the work for you.
Yeah, the AI can engage with leads and actually qualify leads now too. If you're brave enough to let AI qualify leads, if you got a large volume, you definitely want to do this. If you have a very low volume of lead inbound leads, then do it yourself. But if you have 100 leads a day coming in, let AI sift through them and figure out which ones are cold, warm, and hot. It does that by SMS text messaging and email.
Yeah.
And there's actually voice AI agents too, but that's a whole different matter that we're not going to get into right now. But
Yes.
but yes, leverage AI.
What's the last one, Steve?
And then the last one is, what is the last one?
Create one dashboard you can glance and instantly know who to call today. Okay, so based on how you organize your pipelines and your tasks and reminders, then in one, like I saw Lofty just improved their dashboard. Initially, it used to be kind of, I didn't think it was very friendly for the users. Most of them realtors that are not, some of them are not tech savvy. So you need to, your dashboard needs to let you know in one glance who to call today, who to nurture this week. Okay, nurture meaning they came in, they were not ready, and now they're either in cold or attempting. Then who to circle back with next month? Maybe a lead call you and said, "Hey, this is great. I'm out with my family. I will not be back until when, and I would love for my wife and I to take a look at whatever you're gonna send us. So call us in a month's time, or maybe I'm preparing my home for sale. Call me when I'm in the right mind, headspace. So that is also good to be able to see that in one glance once you log into your system. You're able to see all these things. So let's see after the fix what happens. How do we benefit from all that work?
What's the payoff? What does it look
Mhm.
like after we go
Mhm.
ahead and fix all this?
Yeah.
So, good question.
Mhm.
Well, number one, no more guessing who's serious. Your system
Yeah.
tells you. So, you got
Yeah.
a dashboard. If you set this up right, that dashboard is going to have the numbers that matter every morning when you wake up. You got clarity.
Yeah.
Number two, you stop losing time on maybes
Mhm.
and double down on real buyers. Isn't
Yeah.
that what we all want?
Oh yeah.
Not sure what to do in the morning. You wake
Yeah.
up and um, you're not
Maybe I
sure.
should call these ones. I don't know who's in my heart. I don't know who's my. I think the one thing that I find not being tracked by most agents is the pipeline, especially the warm and hot.
Yeah,
Those two, and that's where the money is at.
that's where the money's at.
Not necessarily on the new leads,
Yeah.
but who is warm and who is hot. So in a few seconds, explain the difference between those two.
So you could set up your own criteria for this. What some people do is they set it up um, by the time estimated time to to a contract, let's say.
Okay.
So hot could be 30 days or less,
Mhm.
warm could be 30 to 90 days, and then cold could be 90 days plus.
Wow.
That's what a lot of people do. You could set up your own criteria, but that's a good way to make some rigid lines and then put it, you could define that for your team too, for your VAs or anybody like that.
Mm.
So back it out of when you expect the contract to be signed. Let's do it that way.
Okay. And then what is the other fix that we?
So, so besides losing time on all the maybes,
Mhm.
thirdly, you can predict closings because your data shows who's heating up. So now you have predictive analytics. You can see with much more clarity and project when leads are going to be closing based on the health of your pipeline. So understanding and maintaining a clean, healthy pipeline is really important for your cash flow too.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to adjust your marketing efforts accordingly.
Yeah, see what's converting, especially if the sources are tagged
Hmm.
in the system, where these leads came from, how many leads do you have in your heart, and where did they come from. So you're able to easily look at that data more critically and understand where your business is heading to.
And this is going to allow you to work on your business instead of in your business.
Hmm.
This is where you can scale because, you know, realtors are really a business. Sometimes we forget
Real
that.
estate is a
We act more
business.
like freelancers, right?
Yeah.
But it's really the ones that really succeed act less like freelancers, individual gunslingers, right?
Yeah.
And more like a business. And a business is built on systems, and systems use leverage.
Hmm.
And you can't build a system with without this kind of, well, this is a system.
Organization.
This
Yeah.
is this is a system.
Mhm.
I think what I'm trying to say is that a system like this will allow you to scale
Yeah.
because now you got predictability. You could hire VAs, you could hire closing agents, showing agents. You could build a team.
Yeah.
And there's lots of ways that you could do this once you have your arms around a predictable pipeline.
All right. Then finally, you have less chaos. More control and consistent production. Control meaning you're not just relying on your memory per se. You have a helping hand, you have a system, you probably have VAs, and everything is organized strategically to help you know where you're at or where everything is at. Every morning you wake up, you look at your system, you have your tasks ready for you. You know who to push forward. You know who to maybe put in code freeze. So this is really great for business, especially the real estate business. All right.
Less chaos. We all want that, right?
Yeah.
That's what these systems are all about. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the tools, boys. There's plenty of systems that can do this: Follow Up Boss, KV Core, Sync, Sierra, Lofty.
Mhm.
Um, we like Lofty, of course, but the tool doesn't matter as much as the setup.
Yeah.
They all kind of work the same way, right?
Yeah.
But Lofty stands out for agents because it's built for real estate visibility. It's sort of like an Apple.
Mhm.
It's easy to use, and you don't have to be a techie to really use the system. But you do have to understand and practice using it. But with any of these systems, you can organize your pipeline, drag clients between stages from one to the next, and trigger follow-up emails automatically when you move somebody from one stage to the next. You can even set up automations to automatically move somebody from warm to hot or cold to warm. We call these pipeline movers.
Mhm.
And it could be based on a behavior like if somebody requested a showing from my website, I would want to move that from cold to warm or maybe from warm to even hot,
Yeah.
right?
I got a tricky situation to bring up. Now, I know we've talked about systems today, but is that realtor that is old school, maybe new school, but they're like, I don't want to spend my money on a platform like that. I'm gonna be, you know, out of pocket 350 maybe. My brokerage is giving it to me, great, but I still don't want to deal with all that. I would rather put all my leads in a spreadsheet and you know email who I want to email, call who I want to call. If you want to talk to that agent that is leveraging spreadsheets, let's say, and sticky notes, per se, what would you say?
Well, I would say you're trading your time for money, and that's not what we as entrepreneurs signed up to do. Um, Realtors, I would argue, are entrepreneurs. That's why we get into this business, is because we have that entrepreneurial spirit. And entrepreneurs do not, successful entrepreneurs don't trade their time for money. We build systems and we have to be able to scale. And that's what this is all about, really. This is about systems, systems that allow you to scale. If you're still using spreadsheets or sticky notes, that's very time consuming and inefficient.
Mhm.
And you could do that for a while and maybe even find some success for a little while. But sooner or later,
When you
you're
can,
going to get
yeah.
beaten by out there by competitors that are finding ways to do more.
Yeah, because like spreadsheets, for example, unless you maybe have a Zapier or some integration that will send out trigger an email or something. You any communication that you want to do to your database, and here's the danger with that too, because I see people that use spreadsheets. I've seen oftentimes they will grab a whole, big chunk email list and just dump it on their main email, probably maybe a Gmail that is now whitelisted, and they'll just blast emails. You will find out sooner or later that you become spammy. It affects deliverability. So there's a lot that happens by using some of these practices, right?
Yeah, and I think the one-to-one interactions where you're using your cell phone and your personal Gmail
Mm.
and you're giving it that one-on-one touch, I think that's fine
A small group.
for the yeah
Hot. Yeah.
the hot people.
Mhm.
But I think where the real scaling comes in, scalability, is in the colds,
Mhm.
because that's where the marketing expertise comes in.
Mhm.
And you, as a good realtor, you need to learn marketing, be a marketer as well. And that's where you need to learn how to um, bring more leads into your system, bring more people into your world, and you need to be able to nurture and follow up with them.
Mm.
And they've done studies. They say there's an average of 25 to 30 people that you can maintain a relationship with
Really?
on a one-to-one basis.
Okay.
After that, it's not possible for the average human. Some people can have up to 50, 60, maybe, if you're really good and you can remember people's names and emails
Mhm.
and phone numbers and whatnot. But realtors that are successful have thousands of leads in your database. It's impossible to manage all those relationships. And that's what the systems like this do. That's what they're called: customer relationship management. It's managing multiple relationships that you can't just manage in your head or on your phone or in a spreadsheet.
I think this was great. If you have any questions about CRMs, what works better, what we prefer, or what you've been using and you feel stuck, these are really basic. What we shared today can apply to any system that you're using, as long as it's a customer management system. But they have different functionalities, different integrations that they have different capabilities. We like Lofty, like we said, and Steve close us out.
Well, we'll make this offer. If your workflow feels like a game of catch up, DM us or comment pipeline below,
Mhm.
and we'll send you a checklist that we have to help you get your visibility back in your system. So you always know who's ready to buy or who's ready to sell at any time in your system. That's the name of the game.
All right, that is it for today. We have an awesome week coming up. We go live every day. We're trying to do it at 10. So catch us at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we may be going live at 6 in the evening just so that, we can catch the people that are just leaving work. So we will see you tomorrow. And we also go live on TikTok.
And find us on any social media channel. Just look for Chime Nerds. We're the only Chime Nerds. Find us on your favorite social channel.
All right. Bye. Enjoy your week.